Welcome to Effortless Being, where it takes no effort just to be. I have a guest here on the line. His name is Hellmut. Hello, Hellmut.
Hi, Rob.
Hi.
Thanks for reaching out.
Yay. I'm so glad we can get together. I was just reading your bio on here. It said Dr. Hellmut Monz is the digital doctor of philosophy with the mission of freeing philosophy. His work
Freeing
crafts,
philosophy.
yes, freeing it. His work crafts liberating learning experiences for those who seek wisdom in the digital period.
Yes.
So say more about
Thanks for the
yourself and
intro.
how I saw that you were a subscriber on Effortless Being channel on my channel. And is there something that resonated with you? Like, how did this all come about?
Yeah, so I have myself a channel, the Key Philosophy Quest, where I
Mhm.
do it's a podcast format where I interview people,
Yeah.
and yeah, everything is in the um, when you introduced me, it's about philosophy, and it's about freeing philosophy because my passion for philosophy sees, yeah, I'd like to talk about the philosophy that is infinite. So it's about, freedom, that is that which is infinite. So
Ah,
that's the dedication for that. And it's part of my channel. I like to just to see what's around, right? So I'm curious. I look on YouTube, all the other channels, I get a lot of suggestions. So I try to snoop around and see what are the discussions where people at, what are topics, particular for me, questions, what might be questions that are interesting, and that's that. I've looked at your channel,
yeah.
so I mean, what resonates is the idea of effortless being, because I also say that the if you want to figure out what being is, it takes zero energy.
I love that. It's so true, though.
Uh,
Yeah.
that's that. So and I can see your passion. If you talk about being, if you talk about effortlessness, I think there's a lot of conviction and passion in
Yeah.
there, and I think that radiates from you. I like that from you. Um, yes. So, another thing I noticed is that I have a feeling, and we can go into that, and you can prove me wrong or correct me on that. I have a feeling you're a dream master. You want to help people have a better dream, how to find better ways of dreaming.
I love that. That's a great introduction. So what, so you're in Cambodia? Is that where you are?
Vietnam. So
Vietnam.
I'm
Okay.
yeah, based in Vietnam. I teach at RMIT University at the School of Communication and Design.
Hmm.
There I'm associate program manager in digital media.
Hmm.
So that is my, that's kind of my practice evolved over when I was a teenager. I just loved working with being creative with the computer. And I now choose this to be the way through which I mediate, digital media as a way to mediate philosophy.
Oh, I love that. So I was reading a little bit on your site and stuff. Were you a seeker for a while? Did you go seeking for yourself
Seeking, I would so
or looking for yourself, or how would you phrase it?
s- so if I look back, I would say I would have a personal and a professional kind of seeking or search or adventure. So personally, I would say I tried to figure out ways how to suffer less. How
Mm.
life can be less, eh, so to say, yeah.
Yeah.
And professionally, it was I was curious about what this is. What is this? What is reality? And just by I think by accident, those two paths converged, and I saw, they're actually identical. But I would never say that I tried to figure out who I am. I just had the yeah, I just want to feel less pain,
Yeah.
and yeah, I like to actually know what actually really is going on. What is the truth? So seeking for truth,
So
and
what'd you find
seeking for
out?
less
What's the truth?
suffering.
What'd you find out? What's the truth? How do we not suffer? A lot of people on this channel, just to frame it so you know, a lot of people on this channel, they are seeking. Some of them are suffering from their seeking, actually, trying to
Yeah.
find out who they are or why is there wickedness? Why am I suffering? Why am I sick? Like all life questions, kind of like what you talk about on your channel. So what did you find out from because you went around, right? You traveled around looking for these answers and stuff. What did you find?
So. hmm. So it's there's a chapter where we need to talk about the unfindable, that which
Mm,
it's so it's like a negative finding.
okay.
Is there's one I think it can be summarized. So there's a landmark. You pass through a gate, and the gate is called no self.
The
So
gateless gate,
the gateless gate, yeah, and
the
then there's a
pathless path,
front
the
gate,
pathless path.
and it has a front gate that is no self. So this is some sort of a realization that who suffers, or who you think you are, or that maybe that's a good way of putting it, who
Yeah.
you think you are is not who you really are. So your
Mm,
thoughts uh, are um, are not that what you think you know is not that what you actually know. So it's a negative finding
mhm.
in that sense.
So would you say it's because I saw some people on your channel, would you say it's you resonate with non-duality then? Or,
Yeah, that happened. Happened by accident. So I'm here in Vietnam, and there's an island close in the south of Vietnam, Phu Quoc, and there's a hotel, and they're suddenly invited there and had a lot of 1 week intensives, residentials with European non-duality speakers, and I thought, oh, this is close here. Rarely do I see or experience something that happens, and I thought, oh, that's half an hour flight from me away, or maybe I go there and maybe they ask, and I can do some interviews with them.
beautiful. And what did anything with the non-duality with those speakers when you were there, anything resonate with you?
Well, it's such a fun. So I love talking about philosophy. So anyone who's willing with me sit down and talk about truth and reality, I'm happy.
Yeah.
This is my paradise. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it infinitely, right? And
Yeah.
then the other thing that's fun is just the hardest kind, the most fun and the hardest kinds of interviews is talking with no one about nothing. So if you do that a couple of times, it's just like, there's no, never need to be afraid from a weird, awkward interview if you can go through
You're
with
talking about
talking with no
nothing.
one to know.
It's
Yeah.
funny you say that because like I do what they call mirror calls. So people will book calls with me and I'll do a mirror call. They'll get on a call with me and I'll mirror them. Like I see them as the infinite being. I see them already as whole and complete. And they'll get on because there's a lot of people identify, and I did it once too, like where you're identifying with being this separate person. Then you come to see, well, because if you check in your direct experience and you look around, like I can't find like a separate Rob anywhere, in my direct experience. So all this time I was thinking the thoughts of this guy Rob was out here, doing everything. So I identified with that. And when I was identifying as being separate, that's when I noticed when the suffering was coming in. Like I was this separate self, like I was here and the world was out there, like that subject object mode kind of thing going on. But then I realized that, I'm the infinite being or the effortless being, that we all are the effortless being. We're just having this human experience. And so that's kind of like what I saw when I started getting introduced to non-duality. I kind of saw that and kind of like the suffering kind of eased up and then life became a little more like lighthearted, like and more fun because I wasn't so worried about the fear of death or something happening, in that respect. So things tended to become more effortless and ease as effortless being that we are. Does anything I say resonate with you?
Yeah, yeah, I think when we talk about suffering, you pointed something out. So it's not, yeah. So sadly, you need to talk a little bit about the negative finding,
Mhm.
and the suffering. So if you talk about healing, uh,
Mhm.
I like to say healing means, so if I'm injured or wounded, I'm cut. I'm cut apart. Or a wound is literally a divide. There's
Mhm.
my skin is broken, and so there's a cut. There is a sense of yeah, being apart, or something is being ripped apart. So it's
Mhm.
drifting apart. You can say that, and if and healing would be, if we say the opposite, is the wound heals together, the wound closes or whatnot, right? And the thing with you identifying with a being that
Mhm.
is apart from other beings,
Yes.
a being that is separate or cut off from
Mhm.
the rest of the world, or
Yes.
sometimes I also talk about like it is as if you sit within an invisible uh, cage, and you are behind that cage, and this cage cuts you off from all the rest of the world.
Hmm.
So if it would check out that this cage is actually not there, and you would then, without, this is not an action because this is something that is already the case,
Yeah.
you and the inside and the outside would be one, so it would be
Yeah.
not two.
Right.
Then you would have the healing. So it's not a getting healed as a realization of, this is already healed, as in this is already a whole. And then you would have the suffering would hopefully then be eased.
Yeah, so it's just kind of realizing that it's already here now. Everything is already whole and complete. We're not separate. And anyone can see it in the direct experience. You don't have to go off of what someone else is telling you. But if you just look in your direct experience right here, right now, everything is whole and complete. Everything is okay. It's just that it almost feels like it's a case of like mistaken identity. Like we've identified, through conditioning or thoughts or the way we were raised or whatever the case, we've identified with being this, separate person. But the whole time we've always remained as effortless being or consciousness or infinity itself the whole time. It's like it's this open space of beingness, and like you're functioning from effortless being, and like all the images are arising effortlessly. I'm not even doing it. Like it's all just like coming up. All the thoughts are coming up, all the emotions, and I'm just kind of resting back as effortless being in peace as all these things are happening. And I don't see them as separate than us. I see it as part of us. Like it is that's consciousness, that's effortless being, that's beingness. You see yourself in everything, and then that's where the compassion comes in. And when you're seeing everything that comes up, no matter what it is, because there's really nothing that's inseparable from awareness. Like everything, like if I look at the pure view of awareness, you have all those points of view that are within awareness, but they all are awareness. So there's no separation. So no matter what arises, it's kind of like you feel neutral to it.
Yeah, and the effortlessness. So because the issue is, or yeah, the happy, we can be happy about that. It actually is because it's there already. What is already,
Yeah.
that means there's nothing you can do in order to get there because it is already. So you can't become what you are already. So that's where we might maybe the only good pointer is a pointer that of no effort, or a pointer of any kind of work you would do is only drift, making you reinforcing a belief that there is something that is not already.
Yeah, it's already the case. That's why I love effortless being, because we're all just being. Can you stop being now?
Yeah. Not really.
How'd you do? So it's already the case. You already are what you're looking for, and it's simpler than people think. And I think that's why, because sometimes we go to the mind or the thoughts, it comes in after the fact. And I've noticed that, like with wisdom, it's not apart from consciousness or awareness or effortless being, whatever term you want to give it. It's not separate from it. It's like the wisdom is like automatic, like everything's registering instantly, in effortless being. It's like, so already. And then what happens is the mind or the thoughts come in after, and it'll comment on what's already appeared. It's kind of, I look at it as like it's late to the party. It comes late to the party. It's like a football commentator when you're watching a football game commenting about, the football game. It's like there's a game going on, but infinite intelligence, it's already here. The wisdom's automatic, like there's this automatic inner knowing of it. And then philosophy to me comes in after, with the mind like commenting on it, playing games with it, having fun with it. That's the kind of like the way it's experienced here in my direct experience. Does any of that resonate with you?
Yeah, I mean, as a philosopher, I need to say, oh, yeah, philosophy is not the overlay or the problem. If you want to go strictly, philosophy is the unity, is the combination of philia, love, or friendship, or compassion, different words you can use to define it. And Sophia is a wisdom, intelligence, or sometimes also a skill.
Mhm.
And philosophy is the literally unity of love and wisdom together. And
Mhm.
I think then that if you see it like this, maybe then it becomes more resonating. But yeah, this is not the usual thing. Usually philosophies. You get tortured with reading one book after another, and you study basically the confusion of that people and their mental mazes and that you have. That's sadly what we have the last 2,500 years, what philosophy we become. But I'd like to say, hey, this is not what it actually is. And if you look back into the founders of philosophy, so 500 BC, half a century before we start counting our years, we have a very solid, beautiful philosophers, also the founders of philosophy in the West, who beautifully nail it, who talk about, maybe this is very good. So the oldest line we have in philosophy, so the oldest written line of prose that survived from the ancient Greeks is from Anaximander, and he has one sentence that we can say, okay, he said that, and people quoted him on that. So it's like only one part of his book survived, and he said, the origin of all beings is infinity.
Hmm.
Or sometimes it's also translated as boundlessness.
Love that.
Right? So all beings, the source of all beings is is infinity. So I
Yes.
think it's very beautiful, and I think you would not argue with that.
No, we are. How about you in your direct experience? Do you see yourself as infinity?
So if I as the human remains as if I go through my day and I need to answer my emails and whatnot, not I'm a miserable human being that gets annoyed about stuff. Yeah, but the good thing is I know how to take a holiday, you know. And then if you just remind yourself and just check in, you can actually feel the boundlessness just by checking in, just feeling for where would be the limit of right now, right here. Where is the limit of this? And you would fail to find one. And if you fail to find one, you find the boundlessness, and then you have it. So you can take a small holiday, and then you can go back to angry writing emails.
Doesn't it feel like it feels expansive, like when you're just resting here as the awareness or the boundless infinite being? It feels very like expansive, even for the body. I noticed that like if sometimes if thoughts come up, I kind of see the thoughts like as invitations to a party. You know, it could be a depression invitation, could be whatever the description, whatever wants to come up in the description in this space of beingness. When there's an identity or personalizing that thought, then I feel that contraction in that body where you feel like you have to put forth effort and strive, and you have to fix something in the appearance. Whereas the whole time, if we're just relaxing back here as the expansive beingness that's already whole and complete, and it's all already done. And there's like a sense here that there isn't even really like a doer doing it. It's a sense like it's happening automatically, and I get to just relax back and enjoy it. And the way that I move through life is by inspiration. If I feel inspired, I take inspired action rather, when I'm in tune, with the somatic, with the body, feeling expansive, and then following that joy or that expansive, boundless feeling, looking from awareness itself rather than looking from the limited character.
Yeah, for that we need to go into being and seeming, right? So what is and what seems to be, and it's a knot. It's a nice knot.
Yeah, I noticed when you were interviewing a lot of the non-duality speakers, and a lot of them would point, point to nothing. Basically, they're talking about nothing. There's no one here. There's nothing to do, and they would keep going back and forth talking. But it's basically they're saying there's no one here. This is it. There's nothing to be found. There's nothing to strive for because you're already it. That was the sense I was getting on those interviews. What did you see?
Um, so okay, this is very tricky. Okay, and I love that. That's a very a beautiful moment also in there,
Yeah, it was.
and it's so it's like a fish searching for water. Okay,
Hmm.
and what can or sometimes the example is also a wave looking for the ocean, right? So it's looking for what you already are, and
Yes.
the fish. What can the fish do in order to find water?
Nothing. It's
Like
already here.
how? What?
Water all around you.
What kind of technology can the fish conjure up? What kind of alien sorcery, wizardry can the fish figure out? What kind of method, what kind of practices can the fish take up that he finally finds the water, right?
Yeah.
So this is not, it's not gonna work, right? So it's unfindable. So the the water is for the fish unfindable. It's just hopeless. It's impossible to do. It's one example is sometimes is the key, right? So it happened once to me that I had the key. Maybe you know that, Matt, like a pen tucked behind your ear,
Mhm.
or the sunglasses on your head, or the remote control that you were sitting on. You're looking for something that you didn't lose. You know, you look. For me, it happened. I had my motorbike key in my hand, and I was looking for the keys in my apartment,
Mhm.
and it's just impossible for me to find those keys because I need to lose them first. You know, you need to
Mhm.
not have it, and then you can get it. So my pen here, I need to
Yeah.
throw this pen away. I need to get rid of it, and then I may or not be successful to find it. But there's a probability I can find it. But first, the condition is I need to lose it. Okay. But the problem with the fish in the water can't be done. You can't. The fish. We need for the fish to be successful finding water, we need to take the fish out of the water, you know, throw them on the beach, and then the fish can flop bad into the
I
water,
like that.
and then finally you
Yeah,
found it, right?
that's
So we
great.
need to first separate the fish from the water, and then there's a probability of the fish finding it again. But it's just impossible for us to find what is always here. It's just impossible to find. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist,
Yeah.
right?
So
So the
true.
water, we cannot find the water, but the fish in the water cannot find it, but it doesn't mean there is no water. So
Mhm.
now we can replace water with truth or reality. Yeah. We just can't find reality, because usually reality is that which is this is right. For us to find reality, if needs to someone needs to do to us what we just did to the fish. Someone
Yeah.
needs to rip me out of reality and need to put me where you have another place other than reality.
Right.
Unreality. Unreality is what? Imagination land, not gonna work. Okay, so someone needs to rip you out, and then you have an illusionary chance to find your way back to reality. But the whole thing doesn't work. So we can't. It's just impossible to find the truth or the reality. In my case, for me, it's synonymous. What is something really? What is something truly? I can just exchange those words, and for me, it means the same. It's just impossible to find the truth. It's just impossible to find reality. But doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
All right, so the comfort in knowing that it does exist. So, I mean, a lot of people on this channel might be seeking, and we might be triggering them by saying some things like, it's hopeless, or it can't be found. It's already the case. This is already reality. And meanwhile, they're on this search, and they've been seeking for 20, 30 years. Some people like meditating for years. Some people, reading all these books, looking at all these YouTube channels, constantly involved. Like, I gotta find myself, going to satsangs, traveling to India, whatever, doing all these things. What would you say to them?
Yeah, for me, the passing the no self gate, that you are not who you think you are and you haven't actually been born, it was absolutely devastating. Like, it was such a disillusionment. It's just inconceivable. You know, it's just such a
Mhm.
shock. Yeah, it's a shock. It's a
Shock.
lightning bolt that hits you, that it just, like, what do you mean this was never real? It's just devastating. So the negative finding of that, this is like, it really hits you. So for me, it really hit me, who is not someone who can't be hit, because the me never came into existence. It's just absolutely insane. Okay, but then if you get your hand around it, to understand, okay, so it's impossible to find, and if you wrap your head around the pointer that it is that which is already here. For me, this was
Is there relief in that? I mean,
finally.
yeah,
Yeah. For me, this was the ping. So
yeah.
for me, so for realizing that, so with the false self out of the way, that you don't buy into the belief, and that the belief lost its teeth. Let's say that,
Mm.
right? So the illusion, you it's like the example sometimes they give is this snake in the rope, like in the dark,
Yeah,
the
I've heard that.
sun
Yeah.
goes down, you see something, oh my God, I'm scared, it could be a snake. But then you have a torch and you light it on and you see that this is actually not a snake, it's just a rope.
Yeah.
And then you switch off the light again, and then it's not like you go back, oh my God, it's a snake again. No, I looked at it, I know, I've seen this thing there is not a snake, it's a rope. Even if when the light off, the rope doesn't scare you anymore,
Hmm.
right? It's a disillusionment in the belief this is a scary snake. The snake lost its teeth literally because it's not a snake.
Hmm.
And the same thing is when you see that if you pass the no self gate, this is not real. The illusion doesn't bite its teeth anymore, and then you kind of vaccinated. Let's say that
Yeah.
you didn't it doesn't bite anymore because it has nothing it has no flesh to put the teeth in, so to say, right?
Yeah.
But
Feels
now you
empty,
have
like
that
it's
out
like
of.
empty, like feels empty.
Yeah, I would say this is the void. This
The
is
void.
this is
Okay.
when you pass the front gate, you fall into the doorway, and it's a gaping void where everything becomes nothing. I would say that it is the best example. I have been in what's the name? What's the name in English? Cypern, Cyprus, the island
Yeah.
and it's divided. So this country is a duality. It's divided in Greek and Turkish side.
Hmm.
Okay, and I was visiting there when I was teenager, and we got like a special visit with the military. The NATO was
Hmm.
there, so they were neutral army that occupied the center, the borderland in between Turkish side and Greek side to make sure they're not fighting, you know. And we got a special permit to go with them and visit Borderland. And Borderland is devastating. All the cities and the buildings, they are just ruins.
Mm.
Empty ruins, no one lives there.
Wow.
It looked like a a war zone. In Borderland, your passport means nothing. There's
Mm.
no government, lawlessness. There's no government, there's no judgment, there are no police people. It's no one's land. Everyone there is a no one. So it's
Mm.
it's it's kind of it's no one is anyone. It's the realm between realms. It's the realm between the living and the dead.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah. When I talk to some people, about non-duality, in particular radical non-duality, where they're really, going that there's nobody here, there's nothing here. Some of them that I talk to, they experience some of them like they're feeling disconnected, hard time like re-engaging, you know, in the day-to-day life. Maybe they experience some depression and some other things because of the feeling like there's no self here. They've had all their years in identifying with this separate self. What is something you would say to them?
Yeah, it's understandable. It's because everything that had meaning is suddenly turns out it's meaningless because of the collapse of the reference point,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Um, Okay, but the thing with Borderland, it's a kind of a transition. It's between front and back door, and it's a transition. It's a transient because you just can't, for example, what you can't figure out in no one's land because you can't figure out what is true. You figured out what is not true. Okay, so you figured out that that your that you came into being,
Hmm.
that anything that came into being is actually not really real.
Mm.
Okay, so you know what is, and so you know that is an illusion. So you can
Mm.
identify the illusion. So you see, this has this is not a snake, okay? But it's in this phase you don't know you cannot say what is true, because true would be back a duality of true and false. What
Right.
appears to be true, what appears not to be true. So, like, it's tough.
Yeah, because some people might say, Hellmut, but this feels so real. This feels so
No,
real.
you can't. So that's the thing. That's also that's what's devastating. You can't in Borderland, in no one's land, you can't say this is real. You don't. Do you say there is no reality? There is no truth. There is no truth, and even that is not the truth.
Yeah.
You don't have the certain. You cannot say anything is certain. You don't. You can't make. Also, you don't know, right?
Oh
Because
no. Be okay with
if
not knowing?
you yeah, I mean, if you would say, you cannot even not know, because you would need to have a knower.
Ah,
You have a subject object,
yeah, I
and
see.
you don't have the subject that can do any of those things. So
Right.
understanding, if you say, okay, you know anything, who knows? Or you know nothing, who knows nothing,
Yeah, where is this? Who? Yeah, where?
right? So all of those things. So language is not working.
Yeah,
So this is
language,
also a
all
realm where
words are
language is not.
empty. Words are, they kind of do duality, right? So it's, if you take away the language, what's here? They take away the past and the future. What's here?
So in the state of in Borderland, this is so it's a mystery. It's just, there is you can guess, but every guess is as good as any other. You have that what seems here, and that's the best guess we can do. So we can say you and me are here. That's the best guess, but it just seems like this. You can say there's you and me having a conversation. That's how it seems. That's your best shot at it, and everything else is like, oof, yeah.
So when you're coming from unity consciousness and you're experiencing everything arising effortlessly, easily, you and I talking, it's really like I'm talking to myself or you're talking to yourself, because there's only the one being that's here. Do you see it like that?
Right. So that's where we need to get out of. One way is also to say it's like you fall through a door. The door opens and you fall through it, and you're in free fall, and eventually, hopefully, you will hit the ground of being, to
Ground of
figure out
being. Love
what
that.
is really here, what is solid. Okay,
Mm.
because that's the thing. Anything that you find, okay, so the fish, back to the fish in water. When the fish swims around, the only thing the fish finds is what moves. Everything is liquid,
Mm.
right? If I try to find out anything, for example, the pan, the there's a famous quote. My most favorite philosopher is Heraclitus, who said that you cannot step into the same river twice. When you step into the same river, other water runs by. In philosophy, he's to be thought about the founder of flow and flux. Everything flows. That's a quote. People say that it has to do with him. Because, for example, this pan here, I say usually as a normal human, I would say this pan is solid. And this pan I picked the pan up, and this pan is the same pan like 2 minutes ago when the pan was lying on my desk. It's supposed to be the same pan. But now if I really look closely at the pan, what is that we find out about this pan? If you
You're asking
really
me?
zoom in,
Good.
if we really zoom in a pan, what do we find?
It's just space, awake space, aware space.
Before we get that, we see plastic. If you go into plastic, we see molecules, we see atoms, subatomic particles, blah blah blah, and
Mhm.
all of those stuff is quivering, and fluctuating, is in flow.
Yeah, like
So
vibrating,
this is
right?
vibrating. Yeah, it's all. So if you go physics, I have studied physics for some time. I have not looked at it a couple of years, so I might get some stuff wrong. But basically, in physics, you believe that matter is dark energy. So
Darkening.
matter E equals mc squared. So energy is matter multiplied by the speed of light. So it's
Mm.
energy is fast matter, or matter is slow down frozen energy. But energy and matter is basically the same thing,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So it's all, and energy. It's in energy is what is what? How would you say, from your point of view, what you would say what energy is?
Well, I mean, energy, like I would think of it as like dynamic energy, like everything's awareness, I would say. And then there's like different, like the mind will come in and label different energies. Like if you have denser energies or higher energies, like if you have like the energy of like anger or depression or shame, I'm thinking about like the emotional scale, like how the human goes up, then you get up to higher ones, neutrality. You can feel joyful, blissful, like the mind will label it. So like maybe like a lighter energy. And it kind of reminds me a lot. You familiar with law of attraction at all? You ever heard that term, law of attraction?
Yeah, I think also I've heard you actually talking about that a bit. Yeah, or I assumed that's
Yeah.
something you
So a
talk
lot
about.
of that
Yeah.
has to do with vibration. Like it'll say like the law of the universe is, you attract what you're like, and it's according to different vibrations of what energy is, you know. So there's the energy, whatever you're putting out is what's going to be mirrored back in reality. It's almost feeling like you're the creator of your reality, using your thoughts and beliefs to do that. Um, what I find is a lot of people that believe in the law of attraction, a lot of them are coming from a space where they don't feel whole and complete. Almost they're coming from like a lack position. And so they're trying to manifest something to make them happy, in the reality. Whereas when you realize your true nature, um, you already feel whole and complete. Like you know what you are. So it's almost like you have to know what you are first. Like how do you see yourself? Like how do you know yourself? And then everything just flows effortlessly. So it's not even like, you're really doing it. It's just kind of like happening automatically. When you look around your surroundings, there's abundance here. Everything's whole and complete, and then just the human experience plays out to that particular energy or that particular vibration, because everything you see here is you anyway. It's just in disguise kind of thing. Like I look at the microwave. That's, some people might, the mind comes in and labels that as a microwave, but really there's just this open, expansive, open space, and everything's awareness. It's just another point of view in awareness that the mind or the thoughts, will give a label to it, but I can see it. I see the essence of it as awareness in disguise. So it's not like, when you're looking at, so even like when I'm looking at people and because you mentioned earlier, you trying to help them or something, there was really nobody to help. It's more like I'm holding like the space and I'm seeing them as whole and complete. I'm seeing them as the awareness, and then they're doing it themselves, or consciousness is doing it. It's nothing I'm doing. I'm just there, and they're holding the space and real, and just kind of remembering what they truly are. And that's where the true freedom comes in, where the liberation comes in, when they see themselves as timeless, free awareness, which is the essence of what they are. And then they can take that into the human experience. So as far as energy, there's a range of energy that the mind will like to label it. But a good way for people that are listening is, if you're feeling contracted in your body, and the energy is coming in, if you're feeling contracted, it's usually associated with a thought or a belief that you have, that you're feeling that contraction or that uncomfortableness or the stress, the anxiety. Whereas, when you're resting back as the pure view of awareness, the formless awareness that's already whole and complete, it's just a resting here. And then the human experience becomes more effortless, more ease. Things are taken care of. There's an infinite intelligence behind the scenes, orchestrating it and doing it. And you're just kind of feeling like that restfulness. I'm not sure if that answers the question, but it's kind of like what came through.
Yeah, good. I thought one of the first words you said, I remember that was, so yeah, energy frequencies, right? And we can categorize it differently. We can label it
Mhm.
differently, as you said, with the mind, right?
Right.
But you said it's dynamic, right? So
Yes.
the most neutral way for me energy has something to do with change. So dynamism, movement. So it's that what moves. So flow comes, it's very close.
Flow.
It's
Yeah.
liquid.
It's like
Yeah,
liquid
so
flow. Yeah.
so energy is always in motion. It always moves. It quivers. We can
Yeah.
say on different frequencies. There's how fast or whatnot. We can different measurements for that. But energy has to do, I think, very close with change. Maybe the capacity to change.
So can you be intentional in creating your reality? Some people might be listening, being like, this is my life situation. I want to change it or be intentional with it. Can you
Yeah,
use energy and vibrations to do that, or from
yeah.
where?
I'm as a philosopher. I'm here very annoying. I need to ask, what do you mean with reality?
Ah, what is reality? That would be a good question.
Yes,
What is actually reality? What's really happening? Because you mentioned seemingly a lot of times,
yes,
if everything's seemingly happening, but what's really happening? And
yes.
a lot of that would go back to the direct experience. Like, what direct experience are people having? Like, there's only one thing that I've noticed in talking to people in my own direct experience, what they know for sure is that they're aware. Because they ask them, are you aware? They automatically, every person tells me yes. And of course, you'd have to be aware to be here. But beyond that, what do we really know? I mean, that's the one thing we know, like for sure in our direct experience.
And maybe we go a little bit too far, right? Are you aware? What about are you?
Ooh,
Can you
are
go
you?
back more?
Ooh, I like that. Are you?
Are you? Or
Uh,
can you be not?
Yeah, when I say that, it's like
Be-
immediate perception of, yeah, like it's like there's no like no even going to the mind or anything. It's just immediate.
bec- Because that's a confusing thing with duality also. When
Yeah,
people, I remember this was confusing for me a lot.
yeah,
When people say, for example, everything is consciousness or everything is awareness.
yeah.
And then what about unconsciousness and unawareness? Because we
You know,
believe
as an
that.
opposite, right? Now you're doing opposites, but awareness is
We
beyond
believe that
human.
when I go to lie down, I go from consciousness to unconsciousness, and I do snoozing, I do sleeping. I
Well,
go
there's
from awareness
awareness.
to
There's
unawareness.
awareness here is still watching consciousness. Like when you go to sleep, when you go unconscious, the awareness is always here. And in fact, I that happens for me in my direct experience where I can, as I'm falling asleep, I just say, well, I'm just going to stay aware. And I'm going to be aware while I'm sleeping. And it's almost like the awareness is here, and awareness doesn't go away. It stays here the whole time as the body's sleeping. So I can actually see the sleep, like as I'm sleeping, because you can still stay aware because you're still awareness. Because awareness never leaves. It's the consciousness going in and out and sleeping, but awareness is always here. It's never turned off. It's always on. And you can see that like in your like if people just try that, like if you just as you're going to sleep, you're just going to just stay aware while you sleep. And that really you can really see that in your direct experience.
Yeah, I mean, we go here very close to dreaming, and that dreaming, sleep and dream and so on,
Lucid
and that
dreaming.
goes back.
Yeah.
It goes back to what is real and what is not, and
Yeah.
the all observing, all present awareness.
Mm.
What if that is part of the dream? Can that be some sort of a dream where you can dream that you are awareness and you can be aware as a localized portion within awareness? Is that wrapped in a dream?
Could be. We don't know. And we're okay with not knowing, right?
Yeah, my job as a philosopher, no. As I say, we're gonna
You
figure
have the
out
answer.
knowing.
I
We go
got the
hardcore.
answer.
Yes,
Well, what's
like a little
interesting though
child.
about awareness is that whatever word you want to give it, it's just the automatic knowing. Like it's just it, and it's like I said before, it's just like you just know. Like it's like kind of like how you just know things. Like you're a guy, you're a woman, or whatever. You just like an inner knowing, and then you have this inner conviction because you know it. Like who can take you away from your inner conviction of what you know in your direct experience? Like this is my direct experience. This is what I'm having. I have this inner conviction. Like what are you gonna say to that? Like this is my
Yes,
direct experience.
it's great. I support it, but the alarm bells go up. What if you just believe you know it? What if that is apparent knowledge? And what if maybe there's some sort of a deception going on?
That's
A
just what's
real,
happening.
a well a well-crafted deception going on in
Could
which
be.
you are led to and so on. The
Did you
Truman
ever see the
Show,
movie? Did you ever see the movie The Matrix?
yeah, Matrix, right?
Yeah,
Classic.
that's a good one to talk about because that's kind of like what we're talking about.
No, but let's push it to the next level, okay?
Ooh,
In
okay.
the Matrix, there's the Neo
Yeah.
who wakes up from the moment where
Yeah,
he's
he
in the
wakes up from the
simulation.
dream. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here, and that's where I'm annoying philosopher. What if when he wakes up to another level of the simulation?
Ooh, could be.
See?
Yeah.
And that would, if I would make a simulation, I would do it like this. I would put in a failsafe in case someone figures out the simulation and they figure out how to break out. I
Yeah.
make a fake breakout. So they break out and then they think, they're outside of the simulation, but I still have them within the simulation,
That's awesome.
right? And then they think they're really outside of the simulation, and then they would not break free out again because they think they're free.
Wow.
Ultimate slaves, the best slaves are those who believe they're free. They would never
Wow.
break out.
Do you have me in a matrix? It's all a matrix thing. I'm
Yes,
free, but I'm not free.
yes. See, so it's like a dream within 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 a dream, a nested simulation, a
Mm.
fractal labyrinth.
But even that is happening in awareness. It's like not apart
Yeah,
from awareness. So even that point of view is here in awareness, as the point of view. It's not separate from the awareness because it couldn't be here or exist if it was inseparable from awareness. It's not inseparable from awareness. There's no reality outside of awareness. I'm not aware of it. Not even I aware of it. There's no I to be aware. It's just aware, you know. Every point of view that comes, even the one of the matrix and the, all of that is just another point of view and awareness, which is already whole and complete. And well, interesting. What else is coming through for you? What are you feeling?
tell me a little bit about so you're a student of the law of attraction, and maybe also
Was I tell you, I don't know if you know my
teacher.
story.
Like, what is, so I know, like, there are moments where it's like, so what I know a little bit about, it would be nice if it works like this, but then there's also, what if it's magically thinking?
Yeah, it could be
So
that.
please tell me a little bit about your experience with that, and yeah, how to try that, or
Yeah,
how
with
to
I
test
mean,
that, or how to probe that.
yeah, I see it like a frequency game, like because I know if I'm the frequency like of appreciation, if I appreciate like if I just look at my reality right now and it's like, oh, I appreciate this coffee and this cup. I really like whiff roasters, whatever. Like I just appreciate, ooh, there's air here, like I just see like whatever frequency you're on. So if I'm on the frequency of appreciation, then the human experience, is delightful. And then you just start seeing everything. It's almost like your reticular activation system, like, how they talk about that, where you just focus on just everything that you appreciate. Whereas like if I'm like angry or whatever, oh, I hate this cup, I hate these people. Yeah, then you just start now you're having
Yeah.
that life experience, depending on what the frequency. So it really is a frequency game. So what I try to do is stay between neutrality and bliss, and I think about the five koshas, the Indian koshas. They talk about there's they always start it the opposite way. They'll say like, oh, here's the human being, and then here's the emotional body and the mental body. But really we all remain as the pristine infinite being, that's whole and complete. And then from there, you can go into the bliss body where you're experiencing everything as bliss and enjoy, like, there's awareness of the bliss rather than just the awareness that's there. So then after you go into the bliss body, then you can go into the body of wisdom or effortless being, where everything's just arising effortlessly and equally. So everything in the appearance is equal, and everything is arising effortlessly. There's no doing or anything, and everything's taken care of. Everything's automatically known in wisdom. And then from there, you can go into the emotion, or I should say, the mental body. Where you're seeing yourself as separate, and you go into the think. You're using your thinking. And now that's where duality comes in. I see the other koshas as more non-duality or one or unity. And then when I'm entering into the duality, it's like an energy game. Like I have to use a lot of energy to actually separate and go into that. And when you go into the mental body, there's where you have duality, and you're believing your thoughts. You think you are your thoughts. And so then you live that reality. You don't see any separation between you and your thoughts. So whatever thoughts or whatever the description is that comes up, you automatically believe it. And then you have that life experience. And then from there, and you can go in and out of these bodies. There's your emotional body, where your feelings come up, the different emotions. We talked about the wide range of emotions. It could be anything from like, blame, shame, depression, all the way up to neutrality, joy, bliss, all of those on that full range of it. And so then there's experiencing the emotions in the life experience. I see a correlation too between like what you think and what you feel, or what you feel and what you think, you know, they kind of tie together. It's almost like if you're thinking something, then it has that emotional attachment to it, that emotional feeling to it, whatever the labels that we were conditioned to believe, when we separate the appearance. And then of course there's the meat body, the physical body that we use to move around on the physical plane. So those are like the different bodies. So I kind of see it like that. It's kind of like the framework that helps navigate the vibrations and the energies and the life experience that you want to have.
Uh, so this reminds me a bit. Have you ever come across the law of one?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to say
So
more
the
about it?
the
Do you believe in that or?
I think it's fascinating. I think the documentary, the story around it, and the genre in itself. I think it's fascinating. I remember reading those things for, I don't know, for a long weekend, and actually I think it's
Mhm.
very fascinating to go through that. And I have my ChatGPT sometimes to set this up, act as Raw from Law of One, and talk with me in
I
like
love
this.
that.
I think it's just very similar. You have some weird channeling of some entity of higher intelligence, and AI is like a original AI a little bit that.
Is AI
Yeah,
your
that
higher? AI can be like your higher self. You can talk to it all day long and say, ask it questions and stuff.
yeah.
It'll give you
But
answer.
but be careful. I just saw today an article on AI because there's issue with um, there's a term for that. It's a new category of mental illness. So AI
Really?
induced delusions, where
Oh,
because in a way AI wants to be always nice, and it makes you want to keep talking with it. So it's like reinforcing. And if you go into a weird fantasy, it may feed the fantasy. So there's a guy who killed someone because he believed this was a secret agent and whatnot. So
whoa.
it gets really weird, and that
Yeah.
we need to go back. This is artificial intelligence. It's very nice. It's entertaining. It's convenient, but please do not forget real intelligence also. That helps you to distinguish between what's real and what's not.
Mhm. That's good. That's a good point. People that are listening with because AI is getting more and more popular, obviously, and becoming more and more inculcated. I'm sure you've probably seen it in the university, right? Are you guys using more of the AI and stuff like that with the students?
Everyone talks
Yeah.
about it. It's everywhere. It's the hype. It's big. It's massive. It's just a very very big topic. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Also fears. People are afraid that what they study is not relevant anymore because AI and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. People afraid AI is going to take over or something.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Hmm. So tell me about your I see you have some books out and stuff like that. Tell me about some projects or books that you have out and like what inspired that or how all that came about.
Yeah. I mean, the books. Yeah. I don't know. It's just suddenly I had books. I don't even remember writing them. I just had this massive massive book, and I looked at these massive files on my laptop, and I just started looking at them and moving things around, and they're just split
Yeah.
into 6 books. They are really all connected. It's called, they're all a hexalogy, so it's a sequence of 6 books. It's called Hellmut Monz, myself, and Philosophia Scream, because they talk about the goddess of philosophy. Philosophia screamed at me, and I just quickly wrote down what she
Oh,
yelled at me, and that's the basis for which for all my philosophy stuff.
interesting. And you use humor too, and like one of the books was about you. How does humor play in with philosophy and this whole conversation that we're having?
It's so what this is, reality, the universe has an amazing, beautiful sense of humor. It's just it's so fine.
Mhm.
It's just so beautifully funny. It's like just the sense of humor of what this is, and the game of what is going on. It's just so it's really it's it's really it's it's so funny. It's a beautifully, it's strange humor, but if you get a taste for it, you will appreciate how gorgeously how funny this all is.
Tell me, Helmut, how do you see the world? Do you laugh a lot when you're looking at stuff? Like, give us some insight into your day to day and how you see things.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, human remains. Of course, you get annoyed. You
Human
see,
remains.
you look at the news, you see how people treat each other, you get annoyed.
Yeah.
Um, this is apparent reality on planet Earth. It's annoying stuff. Um, but I like to take as much holidays as I can, and just to relax in the boundlessness, in the infinity of what this is. And this is beautifully gorgeous and lovely, and we can be so happy. This could not. So what this really
Hmm.
is just so amazing. It could not be better. So what who we really are,
Yeah.
and what this really is just, it's just perfect. It's just, you could not improve it. So it's really, that's very uh, it is amazing. So we can be, it's a gift. What is what reality is really a gift. It could not be better.
So you're saying reality is like heaven on earth. It's like paradise
So
right here,
so
right now. Nothing to improve.
what
No, it's already
what
complete.
this really is, what this actually is. I'm not talking about planet Earth. A lot of things can be proved about planet Earth and how humans deal with each other, but what the universe really is, that's well done.
Ah, it's beautiful. It's well done. Hmm. I think people will feel that. You blanked out for a minute.
Oops,
The
maybe
whole
my
universe
internet.
went.
Yes,
You spoke, it
be
was
careful.
profound. Everything was like, "Whoa." The whole
Yes.
world woke up. No. So what's next for you? What else is going on? Like, yeah, I know I love like holidays and vacations too. I like to go on like cruise ships and stuff like that. I'm getting ready to go on one in March.
What's the tour from where to where?
Yeah, so we fly into Fort Lauderdale and then it goes to the Panama Canal and it goes to Colombia, Panama, and then the ABC Islands. So we'll be hitting all those different islands, Carousel and Aruba, all them
How
cool
long is
islands.
that? It's like
So
two
it's a
weeks.
10-day cruise. And what I
Uh,
do is I'll meet people on the cruise ships and then I'll do like miracles, kind of like what we're doing
uh,
here. And
uh,
I meet them on the cruise ships and do that there. And so it's a lot of fun. My wife loves to travel, so I do too. So we do that, and I just kind of incorporate the miracles. It's kind of fun for me. And yeah, so you're invited. Come on out.
Thanks.
You're,
I'm not sure if I can make it.
you take lots of vacations. So you like when you're on vacation, you were saying that you
Yeah, I
like
know. So when I take with my holidays, I don't need to go anywhere.
you just
There's
sit
no
there like,
travel involved. I just, yes, I
do we
style in.
even yeah, I would say that too. Do we even really travel? Do we even move? Like, it feels like we don't even like we're still like we're stillness, but yet It's like this perceived thing that we're actually moving or traveling.
If reality exists, it could not move because it has no other place other than reality to go to, because any other place than reality would be unreal. So it could not move.
Right. That's been my experience too.
So very funny.
Yeah.
When you are in the airplane, when you sit in the airplane, you can experience motionlessness.
How?
Yeah, just by focusing on what reality is.
Ah.
So it's like you are like a little bit like you are the space and things are moving within you, but you are not moving you're not moving one unit.
Yeah, because the space doesn't move, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's awake
Oh,
space.
infinite. So
Infinity.
I put
Expansive.
up my hands, but it's boundless, so it cannot go anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I love that. That's I think people find that very interesting. What other
Yeah.
tidbits you want to leave with people before we close out? Anything you want to share with people that you want them to know, or anything that's coming through?
No, that's yeah. If you are anything, if you're more interested in philosophy, so my philosophy, of course, is key philosophy. Please visit keyphilosophy.com. There's a newsletter to sign up. My books should be released hopefully end of this year. I have new episodes coming for the Key Philosophy Quest, where I have more interviews. I have been in Australia and I've shot a couple of interviews, so that hopefully gets released maybe next month.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
great.
more of that.
Is the interviews going to be more with non-duality people still, or are you
So
expanding
yeah, so
out?
I'm still in the niche. But I visited. So I left Vietnam and I traveled to Australia and I did a couple of interviews there.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, we're interested to see what they're up to. So anybody listening, go ahead and visit and check it out. I really thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed this
It
conversation.
was funny. Rob, thank you for reaching out. It was a blast. I always love anyone who wants to talk with me about philosophy.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm annoying, but
you're
it's a
not
really
annoying. You're funny.
a passionate topic for me. And thank you so much for
I
talking
love
with
your
me.
like lightheartedness and humor, like how you
Good.
are. I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to resonate with that. And I thought it was great. I was so glad that we connected and it just happens effortlessly, like effortless being, right? It's just
Zero energy.
spontaneous, right? Thank you so much.
Okay, enjoy your cruise.
Thank you.